Happy weekend. Good evening, guys. Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's having a safe weekend. Hope everyone's, at home, went to church, got their palms, did something safe, didn't do anything too much. Hope everyone's good. It's KFIT now here with another video for Wine and FaceTime. Tonight we're talking about the different parts of the world as far as the decision to lose weight having surgery or the decision to lose weight the old natural way, pretty much working out hard. But before I get into all of that, this is today's bottle. Today's bottle is Moscato Red. Haven't opened it yet, still sealed. In addition to that, you guys know I have a disclaimer. Definitely wanted to put out the disclaimer all the time, and I'm gonna definitely get it on video. I'm gonna see if I can add it here now as well. So be patient with me. I'll be right back in a moment. I'm gonna cut my camera off, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. But good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, Mr. Negron. How are you? Thank you for being available all the time. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow as well. So just one moment, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think I have it now. So let me see how I can share it. How's your weekend, Mr. Negron? Were you out doing anything fun? Anything interesting? Bear with me, guys. Sorry. Of course, I picked the first time in the world to play with things. I don't know why I did this to myself either. Let's see. Recent, download, documents. Okay, so I will share it later on. I'll add it to the content of the YouTube page with the date and everything like that because I don't want to like get too off the topic with everything. Very good, Jose. That's really nice to hear. So definitely not going to be drinking anything anytime soon. I want to definitely jump right into the live stream and the purpose of today's Wine and FaceTime. I'm happy you did some errands, Jose. You were able to be home and be safe with all the stuff that's going on in the Bronx. Definitely happy to hear that, me at work, hearing about all the things that's going on in the Bronx is like, too much, definitely too much to deal with sometimes. But good evening, all. Wanted to definitely have this opportunity to talk about, the decision to lose weight the natural way as far as working out, get on a diet plan, exercising, getting on a routine, sticking with it, and watching the mirrors come slowly pace, or saving up the money and actually having the opportunity to fly to another country to have a cosmetic surgery done or get it done here in the States. Good evening, Susan Satin. How are you? So the conversation is open to both audiences. There's no right or wrong way to do it. We all have different disciplines and different reasons why we do everything, and some of us feel like we have the opportunity to do it because we have the money. Some people feel like we don't have the money, so we don't do it. Some people feel like I know someone, I have a hookup, I know an affordable way to do it, but to each his own, there's no right or wrong reason to do it. There's no good or bad reason to do it. Everyone can do what they want to do. But at the end of the day, whatever keeps you feeling healthy, whatever keeps you feeling well, that's what's most important. So again, for those people who just joined the live, this is the one I have today, Moscato Red. Didn't even pop it. It's not cold, so I'm not even sure if I'm going to sip it or not. But it's so good to see you, Suds and Satin. I hope you had an opportunity to connect with Jose Negron outside of YouTube. I definitely passed messages back and forth between YouTube regarding YouTube following each other on YouTube and, possibly interviewing. So hopefully that happens as well. Although I can't actually put up the disclaimer here in this video, like I said, because, I'm not sure how to figure it out. I'm on my MacBook and I haven't really learned my MacBook. I'm going to make sure the disclaimer is definitely in the content of the YouTube post and, information under the video. But yes, so this is tonight's conversation. So tonight's conversation is simply going to be about, if you have the opportunity, if you have the decision to do so, which one would you choose? Working out the hard way in the gym outside, with hiring a trainer, getting the meal plans and diet and all of that, or going the route of, cosmetic surgery and enhancements, or doing the other route of, other medical procedures such as, the bypass procedures, the gastric procedures. So, I know people who have done one of all three. I know people who had, horror stories. I know people who have success stories. I know people who have done, the hard workout because, that's what I do. I'm working out in the house, outside, in the gym, during the pandemic, before the pandemic, figuring it out, watching YouTube, really, from the ground up, asking people how to do this, how to do that, hiring trainers, having people who know me help me, so for me, that's the hard way. I definitely didn't have the money to do certain things that I probably did want to do, but to be very transparent, I was a part of the community. Like, yeah, I do surgery. I definitely do surgery. But I feel like my reasons for doing so was somewhat shallow. Now that I think about it, looking backwards, it was just, to help, flatten my tummy, or, to get breast implants, or, to get things that I don't really know I really, really wanted, but you just complained about a lot, things that I feel like I can work on my body the hard way to enhance and make better over time. So, we all have our own differences, but there's so many different ways you can do this now. Like, there's legit the way of the cosmetic enhancements. There's the BBL procedures. There's the procedures of having a lift done in certain areas. There's liposuction, sucking fat out your body. There's fat transfers, moving fat all around your body. There's so many procedures, and so many people go to different countries to have these procedures where it's cheaper, and, the recovery process is, more affordable. Some people do it here because they're willing to do the finance option where you can like finance money to do these procedures. Or some people have like the payment plan or the layaway payment, where you can have a whole procedure done and you can still be paying on it after you left the hospital, So there's so many different ways you can do these things. Same things I'm hearing as well with um, the other medical procedure ways to lose weight, such as, the gastric bypass, or, the bariatric procedures. And with the bariatric procedures, there's so many procedures. So I definitely did a little bit of research, and I definitely found, some of the most common bariatric procedures people have. And some of us know them as the sleeve, the band, um, the balloon, and the gastric bypass. So outside of these four, there's like so many more now that people can do. And long story short, each procedure either makes the stomach smaller or rearranges, the intestines in the stomachs on, how much food can be held or processed, or, it just pretty much helps the person, eat less food so they can like, lose more calories or burn more calories faster, in some sense like that. So those procedures, and people choose those procedures for whatever reasons they want. Same thing with the cosmetics procedures like the BBL, the lipo, the fat transfers, the mommy makeovers, the tummy tucks. People choose those procedures for whatever reasons they want. I feel like most people choose a procedure that's most convenient for them, most satisfying for them, and most realistic for them. So again, going back to me, I definitely wanted to have surgery before in life. Definitely wanted to get a boob job. Definitely thought, okay, I should have bigger breasts. Definitely wanted to get lipo. Definitely thought about, okay, all this hard work. If I work out for months and years and I don't see the results I want, and I'm implementing the right foods and cutting out this, that, and the third, and being strict, and I don't see anything, I'm gonna do lipo. And then again, it's like, okay, it's really, really, really not that bad. You don't really, 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 really need it. So we're like, do you really, really want to go that far? There are people who really, really need it, who really feel like, there's no way they can do 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes of HIIT cardio or strength training or walking or running or anything intense for long periods of time because they're just be extremely exhausted and exerted. Then there's other people who feel like, they can do it as long as they have someone with them, guiding them along the entire process, making sure they don't slip up. And then there's some people feel like, what? I can't do all of this, I can do what I need to do the easy way as far as, or the more affordable way or the less stressful way on my body with wear and tear as far as, okay, I'm going to, omit to do either a bariatric procedure or cosmetic procedure, because I don't have to be running around doing all this other crazy stuff as far as losing all this weight and having all this motivation. But I want to be careful on how I say that too, because I do understand that people that have both the bariatric procedures as well as the cosmetic procedures still have to maintain and implement some type of health and wellness, after those procedures. They can't just be dormant, laying down, not active. They do have to, have a regimen of some kind of light to moderate exercise. And with that being said, that's another reason why I bring up this topic for tonight, because for me in the fitness industry and, having a fitness journey, I've come across people who I assumed, worked really hard on their bodies and came to find out they didn't, they had surgery. But I'm going to get back to that later. But going back to, the bariatric procedures as well as the cosmetic procedures and why people do choose to, choose either one. And as well as, the whole workout journey is working out in the gym, outside the gym, in your house, in your neighborhood, wherever you want to work at. I think everyone chooses the best option and routine for them, because everyone realistically knows themselves. Everyone knows what they're going to really put in effort with, with support, without support. Everyone knows, what I'm saying, what works for them, what their lifestyle, what their home based situation looks like, the type of support they have in the house to help them get through situations. So some people are just really realistic with themselves, like, okay, I can't have surgery because I don't have anyone at home to help me. So therefore, I'm gonna have to work out the hard way, because I can't afford to have someone be home with me 24/7 for 3 months or 6 months to help support everything I do. Some people realistically understand that, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna have to do what I have to do. Some people have a loving, rich family background where there will be people that will fly out from out of state to make sure that that relative or that person who just had their surgery, whether cosmetic or one of the bariatric surgeries, has some kind of live-in support or some kind of temporary support until that person is able to be well enough to get back, on their feet without so much around the clock support. But not everyone has that kind of support, which is why different people, choose different methods as far as what they want to do when it comes to this realistic weight loss journey. And then on top of that, they have these body modification surgeries as well that are really considered non-invasive surgeries, which are really like procedures where you're really not going under the knife, you're not under general anesthesia, you're awoke for the entire process. And some of you may have known them as terms called as cool sculpting or body modification, where there's a way where fat can be frozen and moved and shifted in the body in some kind of way, and like a few consultation visits where your body pretty much composition is kind of transformed to look leaner. So if you have like a really pudgy gut, they can rearrange how that gut sits in the belly and freeze it up, and it just looks flat, or it moves somewhere else or something like that. I don't really know the specifics, but look up cool sculpting or body modifications. It's a non-invasive procedure where patients can come in and get lifts and tightness and skin, or fat, positioned in ways that look more pleasable on the eye to them. And again, teach his own. That definitely sounds a lot safer than going under general anesthesia for hours and having, lipo and, things moved and inserted and all that other stuff like that. But, teach his own. No judgment on anyone who's done that. I'm pretty sure everyone has a great reason why they've done what they've done, because it worked for them. They did their research. They thought about it. They spoke to family about it. I'm reading a comment in the chat right now from Jose on Common Sense with Jose and the Grown. It says, if you will have a gastric bypass, you will need to have an expert on the procedure. Yes, I've definitely heard that. I know a few people who have done it, and they definitely told me it's not just you walk in the hospital and say you want this procedure and just do it. It's a process of therapy. I heard there's a few visits, for a physician for a while, there's a therapist, there's someone who really talks to you, gets into your whole mental brain about your lifestyle and why you want to do it. And, it really gets really deep and therapeutic. It's just not a 1, 2, 3, I'm 500 pounds. I want to be 150 pounds, and I have great insurance or I have cash money. Let's do this. I hear it's not just that simple when it comes to this procedure. It's really a whole back and forth, different type of behavioral therapists you're speaking to, counselors, doctors, physicians, nurses, a whole team of people that you engage with over a period of time before the whole procedure comes. And, sometimes even told to lose a certain amount of pounds prior to the surgery date. Sometimes we have to stop smoking if you're a smoker prior to the surgery date. So there's a whole process, a lot of check-ins to make sure you're on task and on the right way and journey to make sure you're gonna have this successful procedure, at the end of the day. So it's really interesting. I had not priorly known all those things. I thought it was just, if you're a certain weight, certain height, certain body composition, you fit the bill because, according to the, American society, everyone's supposed to be a certain BMI depending on their height and weight. So that's how I thought it was figured out. And, you automatically get the surgery if, you don't fit into that bubble of what your BMI should be for your height and weight, which has nothing to do with ethnicity or anything else. It's strictly just on that. So I say all that is to say that, I didn't know it was that complex. So I'm definitely reading some more chat comments in the chat I see from Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. I'm gonna scroll back up because he said a lot more that I hadn't actually tapped in on. And it appears that he says, I had a gastric bypass 9 years ago. Okay, wow. I definitely didn't know you had a gastric bypass 9 years ago. I didn't know you 9 years ago, so that makes sense why I didn't know that. But wow. Any comments you would like to share about your experience? If you feel comfortable, please do so. That's very interesting to know. I didn't know that. I know you had a few surgeries, like knee surgeries. And I don't remember knowing about that, or maybe I did. But wow, that's very interesting to know. I didn't know that. So here we have someone live in the chat who actually says he's had one of these surgeries, And would you say you had your surgery, Jose, because you had to lose a significant amount of weight or amount of weight period because you wanted to or for medical purposes, or it was just something you just decided to do because, you wanted to just, get on the path of just starting a new journey and creating a new health and wellness for yourself and just saying, okay, I'm going to start here. And there was like not much more thought put into it. What was that like for you if you get a chance? I read to Sutton. Oh, I see Jose is speaking to Sutton Satin in the chat. Good evening, Sutton Satin. I read this comment already by Jose Naron. He says, if you will have a gastric bypass, you will need to have an expert on the procedure. He also says, it's a lengthy process. I went through this in 2003. I was hospitalized for 5 days. I had to undergo many steps. I was nearly 400 pounds. Wow, 400 pounds. Wow, 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 wow. Good looking. Look at you now. Like, amazing, Jose. Look at you now. Like, I remember being in health and wellness with you. You go, boy. That's super, super dope. Like, wow, like you're definitely an inspiration, You're very committed to many things, you're always on time and prompt and punctual and having feedback and commentary for all the platforms you're on. Big, big shout out to you, Jose. That's super, super dope for you. I wish you the best with the rest of your recovery. You've definitely undergone a few surgeries I've known about prior. So hearing that, you're definitely a soldier. You definitely beat the obstacles and superseded and, done the doggone thing. So my hats off to you. Keep doing what you're doing. So back to the topic a little bit more. I don't want to stream too far off the topic, but my goal for tonight's Wine and FaceTime was pretty much to be able to have a transparent conversation with people to say, why did you choose the option you chose? Was it for reasons of medical reasons, personal reasons? Had you tried all the other options and it just was too stressful or strenuous for you and it just didn't work out for you? Was just because, you could afford to do it and just felt like, it's a shortcut, was it a situation where you felt like, you knew someone who did it and they had great results and you were inspired by them. So you were like, okay, I'm going to go to their doctor and do what they did because they look amazing. And I want to look like that. Like, what was your story? Like, how did you, pursue this option for either the bariatric surgeries or the cosmetic surgeries or even the just general hard workout journey? And sometimes the workout journey is not necessarily hard. It's long. It's a process. It takes forever to see the results. So it definitely seems hard because, you can work out for a month and not see results. Sometimes you work out for 2 months and not see results. Sometimes you work out for 3 months and not see results. Sometimes it can take 90 days or more for you to see the actual results in your workout. And sometimes you don't see it. It's someone else who sees it. It's a neighbor or a coworker or a friend or a family member who sees it. And then you see it. Or you may be documenting your journey like me on my Shell Fit Now platform and KFIT Now platform, on my other social media platforms. I do a lot of videos and photos to document, my journey because sometimes I can't tell the difference. I still have a lot of the same clothes from 2015 and 2016 and 2017 when I was different weights and body compositions. And I kind of still feel like the clothes still fit me, but the clothes fit me differently because my body's now proportioned a little bit differently. But I'm definitely a little bit lighter than I was. I'm definitely right now about 168 pounds, 167 pounds right now. But my weight kind of now fluctuate between 166 and 180-ish right now. Like that's the fluctuation. Doesn't really go further down or up than that, And again, I have my cheat days where today I had ice cream. Oh my god, I went to this store called Cellulose something. It's on Grand Street in my neighborhood, but super duper good. I haven't had like really regular ice cream in a while. I was definitely like a snack person before my health and wellness journey, like cookies, donuts, cakes, pies, sunflower seeds, gummy candies, sour power straw candies, like super duper sweet person. Love sweets. And I still do love all those things, but definitely in moderation. I definitely don't overdo it because, obviously we know that puts us back a whole step and then we're all in the aches and pains when we start the new workout journey process or whatever your method is for losing a quick 5-10 pounds, for you. But I definitely have my way of losing a quick 5-10 pounds when I want to, obviously it's been a journey for me. It's been definitely from 2015 to now, and we're currently in 2022. But I'm happy and content, definitely feel like, I don't really look that much different, again, my clothes fit me a little bit different, I definitely have new clothes, but I definitely have clothes as small as like size 6 and 7. And before this whole workout journey, I was definitely in like 14, 15s, I was really getting up there, like, over 14s, and wasn't on birth control, I wasn't pregnant, I wasn't obsessively drinking or, anything like that, in my opinion, but just thick for no reason. I think I probably was on birth control at some point, but definitely got off after the birth of my second daughter because those hormones were just crazy. But definitely going off track right now. But anyway, I see some more comments in the chat from uncommented to Jose Nick, and I want to read them. So he says, I had many health issues prior to surgery. So I guess this is him commenting about, why he chose to have the gastric bypass procedure back in 2003. And he's saying, you do need a great deal of discipline after the procedure. Yes, I definitely see a lot of young girls outside of having the bariatric procedures, but specifically the cosmetic procedures in the gym with me. And I've been in the gym for about 3 years now, so I kind of know the difference between a weight loss body versus a cosmetically enhanced body versus a person who had, a bariatric procedure type of body. I feel like I kind of know what that body tone, muscle, skin, and composition looks like at this point. And for the most part, I see a lot of girls in the gym who recently just had a cosmetic procedure. Again, when I say cosmetic procedures, I'm speaking specifically, BBLs, lifts, tummy tucks, mommy makeovers, those specific, type of cosmetic procedures like that. I see a lot of those girls, come in the gym and they're definitely super duper disciplined, always in there, working on their body, whether it's their legs or their butt or their stomach or their abs. They're definitely in there working hard. They're definitely in there spending a lot of time, like an hour, in the gym. I'm not necessarily engaging with these girls necessarily, but there's a few girls that become familiar faces. You kind of see them every time you're in the gym, and they're in their routine. They're definitely sticking to what they got to do. They're not necessarily like just there to post cute pictures in the gym. A lot of them are actually working out, and the same thing with the people who have went the route Jose Negron has went. With the bariatric surgery, they're definitely in there. They're lifting weights. They're toning. They're trying to get their reps in. They're doing a lot of, calisthenics. They're doing a lot of strength training, trying to tone up that body frame, the muscles, So sometimes, people are disciplined even after the surgeries, especially a lot of the personal trainers. A lot of the personal trainers are definitely in there making sure they're doing whatever they need to do to make sure the body looks realistic, not too tight and hard and rubbery. As well as, making sure that they look like, they want to keep their body enhanced, looking well, and not mess up the good work they just paid for, whether cosmetic or bariatric process, So at the end of the day, you definitely do need good discipline with both of these things because if you don't have good discipline with both of these things, sometimes it can be worse on you. You can have all these negative side effects. There's all these horror shows out there like Botched, and K Michelle has a show right now, and there's bloggers. There's just a whole lot of those horror stories going wrong. People going out of the country, black market horror night stories about people going to apartments and rooms that are not professional licensed, places where procedures or medical, patients to be seen for any type of procedural service, So definitely do your research. Definitely do your research. Do it the right way. Don't go to something that doesn't feel right for that kind of major surgery, specifically cosmetic or bariatric type of procedure. Don't do that. Definitely go to someone who has credentials, license, certifications, so you can look up on Better Business Bureau, something you can look up on the yellow pages on the internet, somewhere, has a credible name, responsibility. Definitely do yourself that justice. Don't just throw yourself in anyone's arms to say, you want to have a gastric bypass or you want to have, a BBL procedure. Definitely do your research. Don't just jump to the cheapest number you hear. Don't just jump to the quickest convenient location you find. Definitely make sure you make sense of it and you know what you're doing and you have support, you have a whole plan in head with you and everything like that. Make sure it makes sense. Definitely don't just jump for the first thing that sounds all shiny and prissy and la 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 la. Definitely don't do this. This is your life. You only get one. We're not cats. We don't get 9 times to, make these do-overs. But definitely see some more comments in the chat from Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. It says, I heard of someone who underwent the procedure but was readmitted because the stomach burst open. Wow, you see, that's something you wouldn't think about going wrong in a gastric bypass procedure, the stomach bursting open. Like you wouldn't think of anything like that ever happening. Um, I've definitely saw some comments online too when I was doing some research about this topic about, the recovery process, what people should do after the procedure, before the procedure, you know, and a lot of it does seem strict where you definitely need a lot of discipline. But I feel like we go the whole route, have the whole procedure and the surgery. There's no time to be missing step B and C and jumping to E and F and G. Like you gotta do what you gotta do. Like you actually put yourself in this predicament to choose this new lifestyle you're gonna leave. So there's no room for error because your body already went through the process. So yeah, you gotta just get this going. So that's really a lot, at the end of the day. Again, everyone makes the best decision for them, but there's so many procedures out there that you can do. I even saw this show on TV. It's called Body Parts, where I guess you can say it's kind of cosmetic. I think it comes on TLC or the same show as Dr. Pimple Popper and My Feet Are Killing Me. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that show before on TV, but long story short, people that have been born without limbs or lost limbs due to tragic trauma situations, they are given the opportunity to have these realistic limbs and body parts that are missing from them. I assume for free. And I caught an episode yesterday where a woman, an African American woman mother, had no arms. She just had like a little bit under the elbow, and that was it. And they gave her these great prosthetic arms that were her same complexion. They had fingernail tips, cuticles, rings on them, like all the lines in the palm of the inside of the hand, the outside of the hand, like, the knuckle prints, the palm prints, the cuticle lines. Like it looked so realistic, almost like a wax set of arms. And they do this for all different type of body parts that people may be missing, whether it be legs, toes, eyes, ears, chins, cleft lips, whatever you may be missing, someone somewhere may be able to give you this, depending on, what your story is or your insurance or whatever the situation may be. It's called Body Parts. Please look it up. It's a very, very interesting show to watch last night. And I just couldn't believe that technology has brought us to this level where now there's artificial limbs that look so realistic that you would never even know it unless you touched it. But shout out to that network and that program and that woman who's able to get that opportunity to have something she hasn't had her entire life, arms. So we definitely take for granted certain things that, we need. We kind of think about cosmetic procedures sometimes like that, but at the end of the day, we all have a right to do what we want to do, to feel happy and good about ourselves inside and out, so who we should not say, who should or should not do what they want to do. I definitely got many comments from people who knew me, kind of knew me from work and the neighborhood and, through life. And many, many, many times I got, what are you working out for? Why are you working out? You don't need to lose weight. You're not fat. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, why do I have to fall into any of those categories to be working out? What does that have to do with anything? Why can I just not want to challenge myself? Why can I not want to do something that I've never done? Why could I not just want to step out of my box in my element and do something? Why do I have to feel all of those things or look like all of those things or be all of those things to do the things I'm doing? But we can't control how everyone thinks and perceives us and their viewpoints and their thought process. Everyone has the freedom of speech, say what they want, feel how they want, say what they want. So it's each its own. So again, for me, that's something that I got a lot. So again, I definitely don't want to come off that way, like I'm saying, like, you shouldn't do this to get your dream weight. There was many years, excuse me, that I really, really thought like, wow, I'm grown, I have children. I think I'm a pretty woman. I think I have a nice body, but I felt like I was lacking up here and not, in other places. I felt like I didn't match up. I felt like, okay, I want to get an augmentation. I want to get saline or silicone implants. I really thought about it. I really wanted to do it. I really made an appointment, a consultation with a doctor around 68th Street by Presbyterian Area Hospital. And the consultation appointment was for $200. And the procedure for the implants was going to be for $10,000. And I think after tax, it would have came up to like 11,000 and some change or something like that. And the $200 for the consultation for me to talk about, how my breasts look, how my skin tissue was, the size I was thinking about going up, the options I have from saline to silicone, the recovery, like all the information you want to know, everything I wanted to know right then and there, pictures, the marks, the breasts, the silicones, all the things I can feel right. It was like a full consultation. So I left the consultation feeling really optimistic, like, okay, I'm gonna definitely do this. I'm gonna definitely do this. And actually saved up some money, some thousands of dollars, and got myself into a situation where I needed the money and it wasn't going to be for the breast implants. It was going to be for survival because I ended up losing my job. And like that money was like my backup plan to, hold myself down till I found a job. So I said, well, that's to say, like, I took that as an okay. Sometimes you can't have everything you want all the time. And sometimes things aren't meant to be. And sometimes, the timing is off, So I kept it in mind, like, you know what? It's gonna happen one day, but I'm not sure when it's gonna happen. So another time around, I came to get the opportunity to get them done. I heard about the whole financing thing, the whole layaway plan thing, the little credit card thing they can give you. You can make a payment plan. I'm like, wow. So I really want them that bad, where I'll physically have them in my body, but not even own them. So it's like I'll be renting boobs, like renting center boobs. Like, what the hell does that sound like? Why would I want to have my credit messed up and have some finance boobs in my body that I don't own, I don't have, and is a debt for life, or probably have all kind of APR and crazy interest in it? Why do I want to do that? Why do I really, really want them? Okay, I have small boobs. Okay, fine. You want bigger boobs? Fine. Cool. You don't have bigger boobs. So what are you going to do about that? You can enhance your body and your outfits the way you want, you know what I'm saying? You don't need these, So long story short, I found a way to love me fully for me inside and out. And I haven't thought about it again. And again, working where I work at during the daytime in the city, I see a lot of live, graphic, gruesome footage of murders, rapes, suicides, and all kind of graphic things where you like eventually I'd be like, you know what? Not because of the videos I see every day I work for what I do in the city, but it just really seems superficial. Like, you don't really want them, you don't really need them. Like, you're beautiful inside and out, don't get caught up in trends and what the mother side of the family look like and the father side of the family look like, even in your own kids. Because I feel like, wow, my children have bigger boobs than me. Like, I was really psycho mentally, like, I want to get them, I gotta get them, like, really gone. And I say all that to say, like, we should never lose track of why we're doing the things we're doing, especially when it comes to us thinking about having a cosmetic procedure. if it's not life threatening, if it's not something you really need, if it's not gonna like, interfere with how you do your daily living, walking, going to work, providing for your family, for yourself, it may not necessarily be a thing you should do. Don't let the outside influences, definitely make you say, oh, you should do that because Kim Kardashian and these strippers and these clubs and these restaurants and these bars and these bottle service girls, they get all this money from these rappers. Mm, don't do it for those reasons. Do it for the reasons you want to do it for. So if you're trying to get a house or a car, whatever the case is, and you feel like you're gonna get your baller because you're gonna look like this, and they're gonna flock to you, hey, teach his own. That's what you're gonna do. Fine. Or if you want to do it because you feel like you're severely out of shape and you're not active and you're always out of breath and you try to do the most, do it for that reason too. If you feel like you just don't have the support and discipline to do it, the hard way, and that will give you a boost to get ahead of the game, to get you a jump start. You can work out afterwards. Do that too. To each his own. There's no judgment at all. Like I know plenty of people who have gotten a procedure who I feel like they didn't need to get the procedure, and they look totally different. They don't look nothing like themselves. And I know some people that have had the procedure and they look so much better than their old selves. So whatever it is makes you happy inside and out. For me, the workout journey, working out at home in my house, in the gym, going meatless, trying to have meatless days and, figuring out how to do the P90X workouts, doing the Jillian Michaels workouts and the Brittany Babe workouts and like all the YouTube 5 minute, 10 minute at home workouts, like all of those experiences for me just really made me love it more to the point where some of you guys follow me. You see me run the bridges. I ran the Brooklyn Bridge, ran the Manhattan Bridge, I ran the Williamsburg Bridge, and I did it a few times. I did it with my dog. I think I did it with my daughter a few times. I think I did it by myself many a times. I did it on a live. I did it pre-recorded. I did reels and TikToks out of all of them. And they were great opportunities to let me know that you can do anything you put your mind to because I never, ever, ever would have thought I would have ever did anything like that. Like, for what? I was definitely in a moment in my life for many years where I was 199 pounds, on no birth control, just eating out of control, like junk food, fish fries, chicken spot food, heroes, all kind of unhealthy food, just to say I was thick in certain areas that made me likable or attractive or whatever you want to call it, because that's what the generation of aunties looked like before me, or the girls in my neighborhood looked like. And it's like, I'm uncomfortable in this body. This body is a body I've seen. I'm going to live video for my one and FaceTime. Can I call you back?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Sorry, I just had a phone call. Yeah, so at the end of the day, everyone's responsible for, how they show up, and what they want to do for themselves, like we can't tell what one person wants to do or how they should do depending on how they feel. But for me, I definitely got uncomfortable with being in that old body for so long. Like I started to not care about, you know, that that feeling of, oh, this is how my aunties looked, or my cousins, or the girls back in my generation, or from my high school, or this is how we dressed. And I just got a whole big distaste from all of them. I was like, you know what? Yes, I've been this weight, or I've worn these outfits, or had this look for this amount of time, but I don't want to look like this forever. I want to have something different. I want to definitely do something a lot different that makes me feel like, all right, you like this, you're comfortable with this, is different for you. You challenge yourself. You gotten here personally, mentally, physically, emotionally, with discipline and motivation, and you got results. And something you probably would have never done before. You never would have been still and had the moment to say, I want to do something new. I want to do something different, because I feel like when you're feeling uncomfortable in your own skin because you feel like you're sweating too much, or you're perspiring too much, or you have a pH balance, or you have to shower too much daily, or you can't find clothes that fit, or you feel like you don't think you're pretty anymore, or you don't feel like anything looks good on you anymore. We always have excuses for like not wanting to go out, or not wanting to buy new clothes, or not wanting to jazz up the clothes you have, or like putting no effort into your look or how you feel about yourself. Like all those things can be like, okay, maybe I need to change something. And that's definitely how I took it at the time. Like, you know what? Maybe we need to change something versus complain about these things. So I changed it. For me, I was like, okay, I'm use what I got to get what I want. Free gym or free park outside my neighborhood, my apartment. Those are free. I'm not paying a membership for that. I don't owe any trainers anything. I don't have to be, sneaky on when I come in to do a workout. I don't worry about if I break anything or misuse anything. It's all mine, like I'm not gonna say I can't start until January 1st, when I purchase a membership or when I get up enough money to buy the Peloton bike or when I get up enough money to get the Nordic Trek bike. I didn't put those realistic pressures on myself. I took the park outside. I took the couches in the living room, moved them to the side. I put on YouTube videos and I started working out because for me, that's what I was able to do. That was realistic. I really didn't have the money to do the cosmetic surgery or to do the bariatric surgery because first of all, I didn't fit the bariatric surgery procedures or qualifications, and I didn't want to have a full body transformation. It was just a certain area I wanted to lose weight. So for me, it was like, okay, you have to try before you say it doesn't work. So on top of that, excuse me, it wasn't like, okay, you want to just get your stomach done and your butt done. For me, I wanted to be able to say, I have stamina, I have endurance, I can run, I can jog, I can lift weights, I can do sit ups, I can do this exercise, I can do that exercise, I can put challenges on myself, I can push the envelope, I can put more, I can start doing things out of my element, my character that I'm timid and afraid and passive to do, but you know what, can get comfortable doing them and can continue to do more and challenge myself the next time again and again and again to the point where I'm doing all these things I didn't think I could personally do because I'm getting to know myself more and more versus getting to become comfortable with the person who I've seen around me, aunties, nieces, cousins, nephews, the environment we grew up in, what we see from birth to as we grow up and have our own families. You can easily get comfortable to think that that's the type of person you're supposed to be if that's all you remember you see. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be this thickums person no more. Not that there's nothing wrong with being thickums, but thickums is still good. And I still feel I still have like a thickums frame. I'm just a little bit more slender down just a little bit in certain areas, not all areas, but I still like the way I look. It works for me. I'm not specifically toning my body and modifying my body to meet the eye of a specific person. It's good for me. I like the way it looks on me. And that's what everyone else does. That's why people have the bariatric surgeries because they're going to do something that's feel good for them. Same thing with the cosmetic surgeries. These people are doing things that were good for them. So there's no right or wrong way about either one of the things. The whole point is, which one did you choose? Would you choose? And have you chose? And are you transparent about it? I feel like for a lot of people, for some reason, it's a big secret. It's a secret society of trust, and all we ask is none. You ask someone, or you suggest if someone has surgery, it's almost they're offended in the argument. If you suggest if someone had, bariatric surgery, sometimes people want to deny it and act like it's not true. Like I don't understand the big deal. Either way, you're gonna be in the gym working out at some point. So what's the big deal? Which one you did? You did what made life better for you at the end of the day. So I say all that to say, like, I don't understand why it seems sometimes that there's this big secrecy as far as who's going to get surgery as far as cosmetic and who's going to get surgery as far as bariatric, because obviously people who know you your whole life or people who've known people who've had either of these surgeries, we all know what that looks like on a person. We know how the skin looks, how the muscle tissue looks, how, fast you drop the weight, how long you're sitting down recovered for. We know what it looks like. So it's like, why are people quiet about it, shy about it? I don't know. For me, I speak about it only because, again, taking it back to what I said at the beginning of the show, I specifically had a few personal trainers that I was really following on social media that really had me believing that, if I followed them, bought meals with them, bought plans with them, and worked out with them for X amount of months or time, whatever the case, I would have the desired look I wanted, just like, their look. And all to find out that I'll never achieve the look they had because they were already had silicone implants in their breasts and their butt. Um, and most of these people really pretty much started from surgery and just pretended to have that body from jump. So I still like to say, like, there's a lot of loose information. Like a lot of people are not being 100% transparent with realistic results you can get following these trainers. You'll see them more buffed up, toned up, polished up, glassed up, and they'll tell you they did all of this doing, specific workouts and diets, for these outrageous amount of prices, and you can waste a lot of money and never get nowhere near that with this exact same discipline, with the exact same meal plan and diet and exercise and everything. And it's because, again, at the end of the day, they didn't get that naturally. So I definitely see I have some more comments in the chat from Jose Negron. He says, I heard of someone who underwent the procedure but was readmitted because, yeah, I read that comment already. It requires a great deal of dedication. He also says it is covered through your health plan. You have proof that it's a medical need. Okay, so pretty much these bariatric surgeries are covered through your health plan, so you're not really saving us so much money. So unlike the cosmetic procedures, the bariatric procedure you definitely get through your health insurance. Cosmetic procedures I feel like you can only get if you can say that health wise it's affecting you some way somehow. Like maybe if you have big breasts, you may say your back hurts or something like that. It's a fair example to say how you can probably get a cosmetic surgery done under your insurance. Maybe. I think so. Another comment from Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron is you need to answer to yourself only. Absolutely. So many people feel they have to answer to so many other people and they make a decision they don't want to make, but they make a decision for other people. And it's like, you need to know you first. Know self, support self, honor self first. Don't get caught into the glitz and glamours of what other people expect of you, how they want you to show up for them. It's about how you show up for you, what you want for you, and how you represent and support you and your circle around you, and people around your circle should support you and treat you the same way you treat yourself. In the idealistic world, that's how it should work. So another thing Uncommon Sense Whole Dana Grown says is there are support groups for those who are considering weight reduction surgery. Absolutely. I definitely feel like certain times in the African American community, sometimes the Latino community, we don't really believe in support groups and therapy and anything that sounds more like you may be crazy if you talk to someone about your issues kind of situation environments. But we're getting better at that. I think more of us are going to it to take them more seriously, whether it's online, whether it's a friend of a friend of a friend, whether it's doing research to figure out, the traumas and triggers you may have. A lot of us are getting better at that. But regarding surgery, that's really good that they have those support groups because I feel like a lot of the time people often feel that they're alone and they're going through things that no one else can experience and no one understands. And they're just ashamed of themselves of being in a situation because they can't believe how dare they be in a situation. They just can't understand how they are, like, why have God picked them out to be in this horrific situation. They kind of get that, poor little me syndrome and thinking no one notices me, no one sees my pains and my struggles, or female little girl syndrome, same thing. And sometimes it's really not about that. It's just that you're not speaking about it, you're holding it in, you're not talking about it, you're not discussing it. And there are people that relate to you in other countries, in other states, in other boroughs, in other cities, in other towns, in other countries, but you don't know about it because you don't speak up about it. And this is why, again, I love to do wine and FaceTime because for me, I have a strong two people that support me every Saturday, and that's Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and that's Suds and Satin. And I know both these people in different ways, but at the end of the day, I'm so grateful for these two people because it lets me know soon it'll be 22, 42, 82, whatever the case is. But even though it's not that many yet, I still love it and appreciate it and give it my all like it's that because I understand that someone somewhere is gonna just not like, how I do my makeup or how I do my hair or what kind of backdrop I have in the back of my room or what my topic is. Someone's gonna relate to me sooner or later and they're gonna be like, you know what? I can watch her all day. She's so relatable, or she looks like that. Whatever it may be, there's someone out there who's thinking and feeling the same we're feeling at the same time. But we never know because sometimes we don't express it. And when I face them, I can put this video out on YouTube, and it can go viral one day, and it can be in other countries, in other places, and people who think I'm a younger person or their age or older, or I look like an auntie or niece. So this background they have in someone else's house in another part of the world, like, hey, I saw a girl in the video and she had the same backdrop someone else has, and she had a video on wine face. We never know who's gonna come across our platform, who we're gonna pop across, and transition in times of what we're doing, what we're talking about. Mental health and wellness is such an important topic. I feel like we're now finally taking it serious in the world. It's not just that boy crazy or that girl crazy. It's finally seeming to be taken more serious in the world. Not that it's perfect, not that it's great, Not that it's, fixed, not that it's like the best established topic and demand that, the entire world knows how to deal with as one in every country and every nation. No. But we are acknowledging it more. Understanding it is a real, real problem. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. We definitely do not have the cap on how to control it and take care of it, but we acknowledge that it is a problem. More and more right in our backyard. So that's another good thing. And again, people like me may choose to come out on platforms like StreamYard, Ecamm, YouTube, and tell their stories, live their stories, read their stories, and share their stories. Some of us may not. We'll hold it inside. We'll write books. We'll write journals. We'll write stories. We'll talk under our breath. We'll say sly, snooty comments under our breath to people that have no idea what we're going through behind the scenes. So we all channel it different. We all deal with it different. How what works for you may not work for me. Some people are more upfront and just put their foot down immediately and have no time for any of that kind of talk or lingo in any shape or fashion at all. So again, there's no right or wrong answer to this topic tonight. There's no good or bad version of it. It's just pretty much, have you thought about it? Have you considered it? Is this something that's crossed your mind? Would you do it? Which one would you choose and why? And for all of us, it's something different all the time. I understand that because, again, we all have different circumstances and different environments and different passions and purposes for why we do the things we do. So I think with all of that, I should be taking a sip because I haven't sipped at all. I haven't opened the bottle at all. So let's get to that. Again, hope everyone's having a great weekend, being safe. Hope you guys have cool plans for Easter, where you're not in around too many people. It's a calm, cool, collective area and environment. My cup, sorry. You heard that first. You heard it. Loved it. I think I kicked my wine cup on the floor, and I have on like these Nike slipper slides, and like something from the bottom of my slipper slide was on the outside of my cup. I'm like, oh, let me see that before I just pour something in there. So again, as I mentioned from the beginning of the stream, it's the Roscato Red, first cup of the night, and I'm definitely shutting it down here in about 10 minutes, 9 minutes or so. So thank you guys all for like logging in and supporting and chatting and commenting about tonight's topic. Again, there was no right or wrong answers or no good or bad answers about the topic of discussion, just more looking for transparency and those people who are willing to share their opinions and views on the topic to see how they felt, and add any feedback or drop any jewels of any kind. So if you don't mind, I'm going to sip some wine. That was nice. So while I have the opportunity and I'm winding down, I'm going to talk about some things coming up for KFIT now. So I mentioned prior, maybe a few wine and FaceTime videos ago, that I'll be a key guest speaker on my union's committee. I think the Women's Committee will be talking about, Women's Committee celebrations, honorees. So my union, Local 371 D37, will have a chapter committee election meeting. Well, not chapter committee election, but they'll have a chapter meeting where they'll be discussing women, and I'll be a key speaker to talk about everything I've been doing, from wine and FaceTime to my fitness, my diet, my exercise, my journey, and I'm really, really looking forward to that. So that's going to be happening April 21st, 2022. So I got to figure out the time frame because I also do a show with my father, Sir Charles Carey, called What's Your Come Up Story. We do it every Thursday at 7. So I got to kind of figure that out. I may have to just do like half of the show with him that day and just like the full show that day. But I'm definitely figuring it out. I'm not sure how it's going to work right now, but haven't gotten any solid information besides, the flyer for the show. So I'm not sure of all the statistics and data, but I know it's definitely happening. So that's another good thing I'm looking at, happening for me this soon in April. And I just got an offer to do an outdoor event in the Bronx around Bathgate Avenue for Easter, or a little bit after Easter, So I may be doing that back in the Bronx. I've done an event for them last year in the Bronx as well, at the Bathgate Community Gardens. I was a vendor, met a lot of cool networks and people. The fire department came out. It was really amazing. Really didn't really sell a lot of products that time at that event, but definitely met a lot of people, got a lot of engagement, got a lot of support, a lot of footage, a lot of media for marketing purposes, and that was cool because I was born and raised in the Bronx. Definitely knew the area really well. Didn't feel like I was in an unsafe environment. Got a ride home, so it was definitely a beautiful thing. Definitely cooked. Kept networking with the people I met then. Till now. And the person who actually got me the job or the opportunity that day, she just sent me this link for this new opportunity. So maybe able to see me there if I end up doing that. And also tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to be on Uncommon Sense with Jose Negrone's platform. We're going to be talking about the myth of the millennials, I believe. So I'll definitely will try to find get a flyer to promote that tonight and tomorrow for Uncommon Sense with Jose Negrone. So that'll be interesting. You guys can see me on his platform. So I'll pretty much, create something really quickly with his YouTube information. You guys can see where to find him on YouTube to catch their stream live. Give him some votes, give me some votes, give some followers, for me and for him, share some love. Come through on the live, drop some comments, join the chat, that'd be a great opportunity for both of us. And again, the millennials, one of the most common talked about people or groups, probably since prior to the pandemic. So honestly, guys, that's it. That's all for me. I'm definitely gonna wind down, get my time together at home. I have my oldest daughter home from well, not college, but she's actually in the city. She lives in Buffalo. She came out to the city to see me, so I'm really excited she's here. My youngest daughter's gonna be having her birthday soon. So we got all this behind the scenes stuff happening for her birthday. So I'm gonna log out, spend some quality time with them because I don't always get to have both of them at the same time all the time. So good night, Jose. That's it. That's all for me. Hope you guys have a great evening. Take care. Be well. Definitely look forward to seeing you guys next weekend. We'll have a new topic in discussion for Wine and FaceTime. And I don't know what I was talking about yet, but I'll definitely put it out as soon as possible. So be well, take care, and have a great evening.